Hey everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. So I was given a whole bunch of computer parts from a friend of mine, and they're old, which is good. I'm hoping there's some good gold-plated material in here. Who knows, maybe some silver, definitely some copper. We're going to get some copper from those cables. I want to see how much we can get out of it. I weighed this before I put it on the ground, and it's 23 pounds worth of stuff. So, yeah, let's scrap it. We've got some hard drives, there's some hard drives there, some floppy drives, 5 1/4, 3 1/2, CD-ROMs, some cable, peripheral cards. Yeah, just the regular stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll scrap this stuff separately. I know YouTube, the viewership when people are watching videos is short. So I want to make this as quick as possible. I'll come up with a tally of what I got, and we'll get back to that, and I'll show you the results. So let's blow this stuff up and get some stuff. Hey everyone, I'm back. Okay, I've taken apart all of those CD drives, the floppy drives, and the PCI cards, and whatever else was down there. This is what we ended up with. I've got about a half a pound of insulated copper wire number 2. Who knows, maybe $1. I'll add it to the pile that I already have. And I got a whole bunch of metal, $10 or 10 pounds, which is probably worth about $1 here in Canada. I've got a box outside, so I'll just add this to the box, and one day I'll eventually have enough to go to the scrapyard and get some money. However, I'm not too interested in the base metals. I'm more after the good stuff, like brass, for instance. I don't have a lot here, but again, I'll add it to my pile. And I've got some insulated wire. I've got tin-plated wire, too. In total, there's probably about a half a pound there. So again, that's probably only worth about $2. But I'll add that to my pile of copper, which, by the way, I probably have about 150 pounds now. And I'll add that to it. And I also got a bunch of gold-plated pins. I know this camera's not doing it justice, but there's a bunch of gold-plated pins. I've got a lot of pins too, so I'm just going to add that to my pile. One day, maybe this year in the summer, I'll build some sort of a lab and somehow get the gold off of it and refine it and have some gold, real gold. And next to it are some chips. These are flat packs, but they're a little bit thicker, so they don't have as much silver or gold as the real thin flat packs do. And then I've got some old-fashioned dip ceramic type ICs. Those should be pretty good, I hope. And then we've got some capacitors, disc capacitors, ceramic capacitors. Should be some silver in there. I'll add it to my pile. And I got a few tantalum caps. And just going over here, oh, we got the gold fingers from the PCI cards, so that should add a bit to my pile. And then I've got some crystals and crystal oscillators. I'll add that to my pile. And then I've got some BGA, gold cornered BGA chips, so I'll add those to my pile. And last but not least, I've got a bunch of photodiodes, laser diodes, LEDs. And I'm going to put these under the microscope to show you actually what's inside of them. You'll be surprised. A lot of people throw out CD-ROMs and even cameras, video recorders, cameras. Those are just filled with gold bonded CCD sensors and diodes that have diodes that have gold bonding wires in them. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these under the microscope, and I'll show you what you've been missing out if you've been throwing that kind of stuff out. Anyway, let me get the thing set up under the microscope, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the head assembly from a CD-ROM from a computer. And this is the this side here, this face of the actual assembly, will be facing down on towards the disk. On the other side, you'll see that there's a laser diode, and then there's an optical or sensor that actually decodes the ones and zeros from the actual disk itself, and then sends that data off to the actual CD-ROM processing. So let's take a little bit closer look at this individual component in more detail under the microscope. Alright, so here's the video. I've got it under the microscope. Again, this is the lens that will be facing onto the disc. I'm going to flip it around here very slowly. And there's just some interconnect stuff. That was a little potentiometer. And that's the sensors. That will be actually reading the data from the disc. So I'll flip it over a little bit more and you can see the actual laser diode. In fact, you can see it at the top right hand corner as I flip it over. And that's the laser diode. So that has the gold bonding wires inside of it, and it's gold plated on the outside. And of course, the actual sensor pickup itself has gold bonding wires inside of it too. And that's about it for this particular component. So let's move on to some other components. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is we're looking at the optical sensor. So this is the laser diode, which shine the laser onto the disc itself, and it gets reflected back onto this sensor. And this is what reads the data from the actual disc itself. But what we're really interested in is we're interested in those gold bonding wires. You can see them all around. So each pin, there's 10 pins, there should probably be about 10 gold bonding wires. And this isn't gold plated stuff either. This is actually pure, close to pure gold, and that's what we're after. So let's move on to another component. Okay, so this is from another CD-ROM, I believe. I'm not 100% certain, but it looks very similar to the one that we just looked at. And again, what we're interested in is the bonding wires. You can see them all around this particular sensor. And here's another view. I think this is a different one. It looks different. Anyway, again, what we're interested in is the bonding wires, the gold bonding wires. And this is some sort of an LED, I believe. And if it is, you can actually see the bonding wire. It goes from left to right. It's right beside the letter A, so that 18A. If you look just above on the top of the A, you'll see a gold bonding wire going towards the cathode. And here's just a regular LED. It actually might be a UV type LED. I'm not too certain, but it doesn't matter. It's just an LED. However, if you look at the bottom, you'll see a gold bonding wire there too, and that's what we're really interested in. And here's another LED. It's a green one. You can barely see the bonding wire in there, but it's there. And this is a laser diode. Obviously it's cracked, so when I was pulling it out of the assembly, it cracked. But once again, there are bonding wires, gold bonding wires inside, and that's what we want. And that's the bottom of the laser diode itself, just showing that it's gold plated, so that we get gold all over this particular component. And there's another laser diode. I think again it's cracked, I'm not too sure. But again, there's bonding wires inside, that's what we want. And this, I'm not too sure what it is exactly. However, we're just interested in the actual bonding wire itself. You can see that from the circle. There's a bonding wire going from the left-hand side at the bottom towards the cathode. And this is another LED type sensor. I don't know exactly where it comes from the actual drive itself, but again, we're interested in the bonding wire. You can see that in the middle. And this is actually from the floppy drive, the 5 1/4 inch floppy drives. Now, there's not a lot of good stuff in terms of gold recovery on it, but I did notice that there are gold wire traces inside a mylar. So that'll be good to keep. And I don't know if it's gold plated or not. Probably is gold plated. I don't think it's solid. But again, that's just another source for gold. And that's it. So again, don't throw out your CD drives from your computers, or even DVD players for that matter. Keep all that stuff. It's got very good bonding wires in there, and that's really what we're ultimately in this for. We want to get the gold and the silver. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Thanks. Bye for now.